The composition window is really important because this is what your audience is going to see. So this is the window into your vision. And there are lots of little buttons that we have on the bottom that we're going to talk about right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slide all these guys out of the way so we can see most of the buttons here. Now, whatever we drag into the comp window shows up here. And if we don't want to put something in here manually like so, we can also drag it to this little icon in our project panel. So let me go ahead and move this over and show you this icon. If you drag something, it'll create a brand new comp for you, and it will show up right in the center and put it in your timeline. Now, these buttons here are really important because there's quite a few of them. So I'm going to talk about the ones I typically use the most, and I'm just going to go at random. Now, when we're in 3D view, the buttons that I go to are these guys here. Active camera, and I can choose top, and I can choose back, and so on. But currently we're not in 3D mode, but this is where you go to change your camera when you're working. Likewise, you can also change how many viewports you have here. So I can go 2 views horizontal, and I can really study what I'm doing. I can go to 4 views, and then we can do like that commercial where they say, you know, I used this shampoo and I told 2 friends, and so on, and drive your friends crazy. We also have the ability to use this guy here, which toggles the transparency grid. Now, because this is a PNG file, it has transparency around the pixels of this elephant, and these really don't exist. And toggling this on will show me what parts are actually invisible. I can also use something called a region of interest. Now, this is really handy when you want to try things and you don't want to have After Effects render the entire comp over and over again. So you click here and you drag a portion like so. And then I can just watch this update without being bothered by the rest. It's a nice way to, see exactly how your colors are coming along and so on. To toggle it off, click this guy again. If you want to look at the different channels in your image, you can choose to look at the red channel, green, blue, and even the alpha. Once again, the alpha is the little mask that appears around our artwork that shows us where something is and where something isn't based on the color. And I can go and put this back on RGB. If I want to see safe zones so I know where to put my action and my titles, I enable this. And I talk about this option elsewhere in this tutorial. It's very handy and very important to know what this guy does. I'll turn it off by clicking again. My zoom factor is right here, so I can magnify and fit up to 100%, or I can choose one of these guys down here. For certain functions, like when you're doing very, very intensive special effects, I recommend that you work with this and this at the same time. This is our zoom. So this will give us more to look at, or of course less. And this guy gives us the ability to change the resolution that we're seeing in the comp window. So currently we're looking at the pixels at full blast. I can put it on half, and I can drop that down a little bit. And I can put it on third, and as you can see here, it starts to degrade. We have these jaggies up here now, as the anti-aliasing is being reduced quite a bit. Now, this might not seem like it's important, but if you're doing a lot of explosions and a lot of crazy stuff, it's really helpful to work at a lower resolution while you're working, and then put it back on full just to get a quick preview, and then go back to something like half. And once again, this should go hand in hand with this guy here. So you want to make sure that these are pretty much equal. Now, that's only a suggestion and not really a rule of thumb. So, and one more thing I want to show you, let me just go ahead and move this over, is we have the ability to adjust the exposure in the view. So I can go ahead and do something like this, and I can click this guy to reset that. So I'll go ahead and put the exposure way down here and reset it. And last but not least, if you have a lot of cool things, you want to see a chart or a graph, you can look at a flowchart by clicking this guy. And now I'm looking at a flowchart that appears in its own panel. Alright, so I can go ahead and close that, and now I'm back in my comp. And that is a look at the comp window inside of After Effects.